The Tuesday, May 16th, 2017 meeting of the Common Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councillor Olson.
Here.
Councillor Van Sickle. Councillor Bender.
Here.
Councillor Sweeney.
Here.
Councillor Fennessy.
Here.
Councillor Ludwig.
Here.
Councillor Sutherland.
Here.
Councillor Kern.
Here.
Councillor Dahlbeck.
Here.
Councillor Hale. And Councillor Levine.
We have a quorum. Any proclamations and commendations?
Nope.
Approval of the minutes from May 2nd, 2017. Sorry, I didn't hear the motion. Motion by Councillor Dahlbeck, second by Councillor Olson to approve the minutes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no.
No.
The motion carries.
Prior to the consent agenda, we would like to take item 8.3 and 11.1 out of order for consideration. If we can have a motion.
I'll make a motion to that effect. Second.
Motion is by Councillor Bender, the second by Councillor Olson to suspend the rules, take the agenda out of order. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 8.3, Finance Director Vito is requesting approval of the resolution, purchase and loan agreement and termination agreement for the landfill closure and long-term care assistance.
Motion to approve. Second.
The motion is by Councillor Fennessy, the second by Councillor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
11.1 is a resolution providing for the issuance, sale, and delivery of $3,946,997 taxable note anticipation note of 2017 of the City of Superior, Wisconsin, establishing the terms and conditions, directing its execution and delivery, creating a debt service account, and awarding the sale.
Motion to approve.
The motion is by Councillor Bender, the second by Councillor Dahlbeck. Is there discussion? Councillor Sweeney.
I'd just like a member of the finance department to explain this to us, okay? What we're voting on.
Mr. Bronson.
Okay, this is a requirement of the DNR that we have to have funds secured to pay for long-term care for 40 years at the landfill and then closure. So we've got restricted cash on hand in the landfill fund of $3,327,000. And then we're requesting this note anticipation note with National Bank of Commerce to make up the additional funds that the DNR requires us to secure for that long-term care and closure. So that's what this note is for.
Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item number 6 is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
The motion is by Councillor Bender. The second is by Councillor Kern. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 7 are the standing committee recommendations for approval. 7.1 is the Finance Committee of May 11th.
What?
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion is by Councillor Bender. The second by Councillor Van Sickle. Is there discussion?
It was Ludwig.
Councillor Ludwig, my apologies. Is there discussion?
It's hard to tell.
Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 7.2 is the Plan Commission of May 10th.
Motion to approve. Second.
The motion is by Councillor Fennessy, the second by Councillor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 8.1, Parks and Recreation and Forestry Director Kadat is recommending approval of conditional agreement with the Northwest Regional Planning Commission for development of a comprehensive outdoor recreation plan for the city of Superior.
The motion is by Counselor Kern, the second by Counselor Ludwig. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
8.2, Finance Director Vito is requesting approval of Amendment 5 to the Nemadji Golf Course operating lease between the City of Superior and Nemadji Public Golf Course, Inc., extending the lease agreement through December 31st, 2018, and also approving the $71,038 in capital major maintenance improvement plan for 2017.
The motion is by Counselor Kern, the second by Counselor Ludwig. Is there discussion? Counselor Olson.
So, do we have a plan after 2018?
Mr. Bronson?
The agreement allows for 4 additional one-year renewals. So that has to be decided by March 31st of next year, whether we want to renew it for the 2019 season.
And then the lease agreement or operating agreements would be reviewed at those time every year?
Yep.
Moving forward?
Yes.
Including any capital improvements, or would capital improvements be separate going toward, any capital improvements be going towards capital improvement fund?
Yeah, we established a 5-year capital plan, approved the 2017 numbers, so we'll review the 5-year plan again next year and approve 2018 separately. Just
Thank you.
continue.
Further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no.
No.
Motion carries.
Item 8.4, Planning Director Cirque is requesting waiver of the land sale procedure for the city-owned property located at 2214 Elmira Avenue, and that the city enter into an agreement with Corey Bonneville that would award the sale of the land directly to him for $16,700 and ensure that the property be developed.
The motion is by Counselor Sutherland, the second by Counselor Dahlbeck. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
8.5, Planning Director Cirque is requesting approval to put up bid parcels located near Albany Avenue and North 54th Street as received from Jeff and Tracy Chrisman.
The motion is by Counselor Olson, the second by Counselor Dahlbeck. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Okay. Item 8.6, I have submitted to you the resignation of 6th District Councilor Graham Garfield, and City Attorney Pearl and I have provided you options regarding the vacancy.
What is your pleasure? Counselor Fennessy.
To kind of start this conversation, I don't want to see the position left vacant. I think that's a disservice to the citizens of the 6th District. I also don't think it makes sense for us to spend the money on a special election. I think our only logical choice is to appoint somebody. So with that being said, I'd like to make the motion to appoint Tyler Elm for the remainder of the full term.
I'll second that.
I would have thirded it.
Sorry, I didn't hear the second.
Correct.
The motion is to appoint Tyler Elm for the remainder of the term by Counselor Fennessy. The second is by Counselor Sutherland. Is there discussion? Counselor Sweeney?
I actually would like to go back to the resignation of the former. And my only question there is, and I see we didn't have a signed document from him. Now, if that's not important, just tell me. Or
Yeah.
if it would
We
go.
did receive one.
We did receive
Oh,
one.
we did? Oh.
Jack,
Uh,
we didn't receive it until yesterday, but we did receive a written signed resignation from him.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Sutherland? Counselor Bender?
Yes, I have a question as far as procedure goes. Should we not make a motion to receive and file the resignation?
My understanding is that once it has been received by the clerk, it's official.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no action required
Then,
from the
then
council
I,
if you...
then I will withdraw that
Okay,
motion.
okay.
Is there further discussion? Counselor Olson.
I know I'm going to irritate somebody, but I guess we're just going to throw that out there and take it for what it's worth. I do not believe that we should just appoint anybody. There's a process that we've done in the past. There was lengthy discussion as to what we may or may not do. And in the text of the document you've got in front of you, nominations could be made and seconded, which you've just done. But if there's more than one person that's interested in this, I think that person should have the right in a democracy to speak as well. I don't, in my opinion, don't believe that we should be filling this position tonight. I think that we should accept the resignation that we've done it. And look at the process of having somebody come forward, or if there's, we're not giving anybody else a chance in the sixth district to come forward for a position that is vacant by nobody in that sixth district's. It's nobody else's fault that we're at this conjuncture that we're in right now. So I would strongly oppose just appointing anybody here tonight without any discussion. Whether I'm pretty sure that your recommendation, Tyler, is qualified, obviously, by the tally of a vote that happened a month and a half ago. But in the spirit of democracy and the way that we should be looking at a democratic process in an election or an appointment, I strongly oppose just appointing anybody here tonight without any further discussion.
Counselor Sutherland.
I second that for Elm. However, I believe that he has done his work for that position. He filled in the paperwork when you needed to. And for the council to appoint someone to fill that sixth district that we don't even represent, I don't think it's fair. 149 people voted for him. I feel like that's one less than the other, than Graham. I feel like for us to appoint or even think about considering appointing someone to that position, it wouldn't be fair to them 149 voters. So I would like to see Elm appointed to that position for the full term.
Counselor Bender.
I don't know, I think maybe Counselor Van Sickle was second, but shut your mic off for a minute. So there's no feedback. I just asked her to shut her mic off, so there wouldn't be any feedback. But anyway, my question was, how many applicants have there been for the position?
You haven't set a process yet. We have no applications. Zero.
Okay,
I had a real one.
okay, thank you.
Counselor Van Sickle.
We bring up the one vote, and I'll just say that I strongly agree with President Olson. We bring up the one vote. But the truth is, it's a local election. The win margins are small. That's just what's true. I also feel that we have to recognize that this particular recommendation was not elected by his district. I don't think it's appropriate for us to automatically appoint that seat to somebody that was not elected by his own district. I couldn't feel stronger that this should be an open, transparent application process.
Counselor Dahlbeck.
I had to fulfill this seat, and I had lost by 2 votes. And I had to do a resume, and they had a big discussion, and they selected me. And then the next election, I had to run again, even though it was not the odd or the even number. So I think, yes, we should open it up to whoever wants to serve.
Counselor Sweeney.
My position is there were 4 scenarios, A, B, C, and D. The one that I would favor is naming someone, open process is fine with me, but only for a year. And then have the election when the odd numbers are going to run in April of next year, and put them in there, whoever it is, and have them run for 1 year and then get back on the cycle. I don't think somebody should be appointed for 2 years. This is why we vote for people, and so to have them appointed for 2 years, I would be against that. 1 year is fine, but and whether we do one or go through a series is, I'm open to that, but I don't think we should appoint somebody for 2 years.
Councillor Fennessy.
If I could just go into a little bit more detail why I made the motion the way I did. We're all here representing the voice of the citizens. We're here to bring their voice to the council floor. And in this case, less than 2 months ago, about a month and a half ago, 149 people brought their voice to the council floor. And if we as a council appoint somebody else other than that, we're basically taking away their vote. And I know he only lost by 1 vote, and I don't want to get fixated on that 1 vote. Instead, I'd rather get fixated on the 149 people that came out to the polls and cast their vote for him. He's already gone through the application process that we're talking about going down. He's already been through the debates, the forums. He's already laid his platform out to the citizens of the 6th district, and 149 of them said, "Yeah, that's who we want for the next 2 years." I'm fine whether it's 1 year, 2 years, whatever. But I think for us to go any other direction than Tyler Elm would be a disservice to the citizens of the 6th district.
Councillor Sweeney. I'm sorry, Councillor Bender. You were waiting.
Yes, well, I was just going to mention that Councillor Dahlbeck is correct, that there has been precedents set, and the precedent that was set was that she filled out the 1 year, and then a special election was held. And yes, it would be a special election. However, all the county board seats are going to be up in 2018. And so there would be people voting in the 6th district.
Councillor Sweeney.
Frog, can you or Terry confirm what we just said, that what is the past practice where this has obviously been a number of times, I suspect, that there's been a vacancy. What have we done?
Well, I looked back, going back to 1997, and of the vacancies that there were 2 instances where a candidate was appointed to fill the term until a special election was held the following April. So that would be similar to filling this seat and having an election next April. There were 5 additional vacancies that were refilled for the remainder of the term, but that candidate was up the following April anyway, so like a 4 to 11 month term. 1 seat was vacated in November, and it was left vacant because it was such a short time frame. And I found no instances where a vacancy was filled for more than 1 year. Welcome.
Councillor Van Sickle.
I just feel like, for the record, 149 people did not vote for Mr. Elm. I believe it was 140. And I would also argue that it's more than 1 vote, because 1 vote is a tie, and that is also not a win. And if we want to get into those numbers, I would say, yes, 140 people voted for him, but more people voted against him. I think that if we do owe anything to the people of the 6th district in terms of having a voice and representation on this council, then we owe it to them to have the opportunity to have an open application process. And yes, Councillor Sutherland, he has been through this for months, but there are also certain limitations involved with the long campaign that not everybody can participate in. This, like Councillor Dahlbeck said, having an application and a resume presented before this council does not feel like too much to ask.
Councillor Bender. I'm sorry, Councillor Kern hasn't spoken.
Is there a timeline that we'd be putting on these applications for accepting them, or is there any statute on that?
No, there's no the statutes are very vague, pretty silent on how you can fill a vacancy. It's pretty much up to the governing body.
Okay, and then
I would recommend that if you're going to seek letters of interest, that they be submitted probably by the 31st, so we can include them in your June 6th packet. And then if that's the way that you're going to go, that the person be invited to speak to the council at that meeting, an appointment be made.
All right, thank you.
So but before I take further comments, I want to remind you that the motion on the table is to appoint Tyler Elm specifically for 2 years. Voting, if that were to fail, we would entertain new motions about the process. Councillor Bender.
I was going to ask that the clerk read that that motion, but which you now have restated. So I think it's time to call to vote on that question.
The question's been called. Is there
one person that signed up to speak if you want to hear from the public?
Ms. Ligman, you signed up to speak. Would you like to speak now before we take a vote?
Yes, I would. My name is Rose Ligman.
Please turn on your
The
light.
microphone, there you go.
And we'll need your name and address, please.
My name is Rose Ligman. My address is 1717 Susquehanna. I'm in the 9th District. And I'm very well out in the community, as most of you do know. And I would just like to say that I've spoken with many of the constituents in the district, in the 6th District, and they do have a voice. And Tyler is a proven leadership in our community, and I think it would be wise to, since it was just a month ago, to go ahead and put him in. And so that is just something that I would like to say, knowing from the people that I've spoken with. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ligman. The question has been called. Is there opposition to calling the question?
Yeah, I would actually like to amend my motion. After
I'm sorry, Mr. Francis, that's out of order. You can't amend
Okay.
the motion. It belongs to the body. Is there opposition? Do you oppose calling the question? I don't know. Any opposition to calling the question? The question has been called.
Roll call vote.
We will be taking roll call. If you are in favor, please say yes. Use your microphones if you don't mind. And if you're opposed, please say no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councillor Olson.
No.
Councillor Van Sickle.
No.
Councillor Bender.
No.
Councillor Sweeney.
No.
Councillor Fennessy.
yes.
Councillor Ludwig.
No.
Councillor Sutherland.
Yes.
Councillor Kern.
No.
Councillor Dahlbeck.
No.
That
I would like to
motion
make-
fails 2-7.
The motion has failed.
I would like to make a new motion.
Councillor Bender.
I would move that we accept possibility number 3, fill the vacancy by appointment and order a special election for April 2018.
I will second that.
We have a motion to fill the vacancy by appointment with a special election in the spring of 2018. That is made by Councillor Bender, the second by Councillor Sweeney. Councillor Olson.
Again, I am going to stand firm to this, and if everybody is convinced that the person that we are nominating is the person for this position, I do not see any reason why they shouldn't come forward, present a resume such as we have in the past. It's been successful, and I don't understand why we are coming off one road and going down another that is parallel to it.
Sorry, Councillor Bender, could you clarify your motion? Are you still nominating a specific person or opening the process for nomination?
My motion was to accept number 3, which is fill the vacancy by appointment and order a special election for April 2018. However, there's nothing in my motion about the process for selecting that
Very
person.
well. Right. Very well. Councillor Sutherland.
Thanks.
When this has happened before, when they had filled out resumes, would they have to turn in signatures like we had to do, 20 signatures?
That's a question you'll have to consider.
Okay.
The process. Which we can either amend this motion or take it after if this passes or fails.
Okay. So if that's the case, if we do, I'd like to do that, amend that, however that works.
Your amendment is to require potential applicants to bring in 20 signatures.
20 signatures like we had to
be
do for this
eligible to
position.
apply.
Yes.
Is there a second to the amendment? Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second is by, the motion is by Counselor Sutherland, second by Counselor Fennessy. Is there discussion on the amendment to require signatures? Counselor Olson?
I'm confused as to what the motion is now.
He's requiring potential applicants for the position to submit 20 signatures from the district with their application.
So that's overriding Mr. Bender's?
No.
No, this is the amendment.
It's the
Okay,
amendment.
so you're requiring, there's gonna be a process of submitting signatures to qualify for this position that you want to have for a term of 1 year.
That is the motion.
Thank you.
That is the amendment.
Sorry, and those signatures will also be verified by the clerk as well?
If that's your recommendation, yeah.
And his motion did say to the same way that other counselors did. Is this clear enough?
No. Could you read it?
Do you have
Okay.
text?
Yeah. Right, yeah,
we're
you're
clarifying
voting
the
on the amendment, first of all, which is to require, along with an application or a letter of intent, the 20 signatures, the petitions that you would a counselor would normally collect from their constituents.
To be clear, the amendment, as I understand it, and was read, an applicant for this position will have to collect 20 signatures verified by the clerk in the exact same way, except for any timeline that you set, as any other counselor in order to be eligible to apply. From that point, you will be open to consider any applicant that does that.
Just to be clear, this doesn't apply to signatures collected this year already?
No, they'd have to be.
They'd have to be.
Further question, Counselor Kern.
Can I make an amendment to the amendment to the amendment? Just so we can put the timeline into it, so we don't have to go through this all over again?
I think we could do that.
Or we gotta do that separate?
No, that has to be a separate amendment.
Okay.
We'll get there. I got you guys. Other discussion? See no discussion. All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. We are back to the main motion to fulfill the seat by appointment to a person that has collected 20 signatures within the district. Are there any further amendments, Councilor Kern?
And hold a special election.
And hold
on.
special election.
I would like to make a motion that it's done, what'd you say, May 31st? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, if you want to have those before you for the June 6th meeting, we would need them by May 31st as the deadline. We could say if you could make it 4 o'clock, that would give us last minute time to pull that agenda together and make sure you have all the information.
So I'll make a motion of what you just said, please.
Okay.
The amendment is
Did I say
to
March?
set a deadline to present an application with signatures by May 31st. Is there a second? Second. The second is by Councilor Dahlbeck. Is there discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. We have a motion. Would you like me to read it again? The motion, correct me, is to appoint a person that has collected 20 signatures from the 6th district by May 31st. You will appoint a person that's done that at the June 6th meeting, and they will fulfill the term of 1 year facing a special election in the spring of 2018. Is that clear? Further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. We did it, guys.
I'm going to get my paperwork back in order here.
See, she thought we would take longer.
I did. I was ready. I was ready for a bunch of roll calls. Okay, we are on to item 8.7. You have before you miscellaneous licenses for approval.
The motion is by Councilor Bender, the second by Councilor Olson. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
You have approval of a Class A beer license for Northern Tier Retail, LLC, trade name Super America. 1405 Broadway Street.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, the second by Counselor Ludwig. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
You have an application to amend the premise of a Class B liquor and beer license and a one-day cabaret by Pudge's, trade name Pudge's, 2223 East 5th Street, for a special event on July 21st through July 22nd.
Motion is by Counselor Sweeney, the second by Counselor Bender. All those in favor, I'm sorry, is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
8.10 is a application to amend the premise of a Class B liquor and beer license by Mensa Corporation, trade name Landmark Lanes, 1914 Broadway Street, for a special event on June 24th.
Motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, the second by Counselor Fennessy. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 9.1, Mayor Payne is appointing Brian Finstead to the Plan Commission. He's appointing himself and Terry White to the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Superior, Warren Bender to the Development Association, Shanu Kaczynski to the Police and Fire Commission, and Robert Jan Queen to the Tree Board.
The motion is by Counselor Ludwig, the second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Thank you.
9.2, Mayor Payne is requesting waiver of building permit fees for the upcoming Western Lake Superior Habitat for Humanity project located at 710 Weeks Avenue.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, the second by Counselor Fennessy. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Item 11.1 has been taken care of. 11.2 is a resolution introduced by the Planning and Development Department setting a public hearing June 6th to consider an amendment to the zoning code to rezone lots in the vicinity of North 13th Street and Grand Avenue from apartment residential to planned development district.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, the second by Counselor Fennessy. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
12.1 is an ordinance introduced by the Public Works Department amending the traffic code, disabled do not block sidewalk zones by adding 816 North 19th Street.
The motion is by Counselor Ludwig, the second by Counselor Bender.
It threw me because you said adding rather than removing. I'm sorry.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Removing.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
12.2 is an ordinance introduced by the Public Works Department amending the traffic code, disabled do not block sidewalk zones by removing 5633 Oaks Avenue.
The motion is by Counselor Olson, second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
12.3, ordinance introduced by the Planning and Development to amend the City Code, Chapter 6, Advertising and Signs, Article 2, Signs.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck. The second is by Counselor Olson. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Ordinance introduced by Planning and Development to amend the City Code, Chapter 122, Zoning, Article 6, Supplemental District Regulations.
Motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We have no further business by the public. Is there, having no further business on the agenda, is there objection to adjourning the regular meeting? There is none. Councilors, please don't go far. We will be adjourning the meeting and convening our committee.
All right, we're gonna call the committee of the whole portion of this meeting to order. Roll call will be recognized by the regular council meeting. With that, Terry, what do you?
Item number 1, Mayor Jim Payne is introducing draft ordinance repealing Section 2, Article 12, Public Works Projects, and recreating Article 2, Section 12, Responsible Bidder Criteria.
Yeah, the other one's 13.
Yeah, there was an error. That's the typo.
So that's still 12?
Yeah.
Mayor Payne.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I have introduced this ordinance. I hope everybody has had a chance to read through it. It is designed to accomplish a few things. So if you have recently had cause to read our section in the Code of Ordinances regarding public works, you'll find that a lot of that is out of date and has been much of it has been banned or made illegal by state law, and so it was necessary to update it anyways. So rather than repeal altogether, I felt it was important that we consider imposing some of the protections that we have always as a city been in the habit of employing, both for taxpayers and for the contractors that work in our community. So as you look through a little bit of background, the state of Wisconsin, when we let public contracts, and that is defined in both this ordinance and in state statute, when we let those contracts, we are required to award them to, quote, the lowest responsible bidder. Lowest bidder is pretty obvious, but responsible is up to us to define. That's what this ordinance does. So as you look through, what I believe is that these are not only some very common sense things about making sure that contractors are capable of doing the job that we are hiring them to do and appropriately train and supervise their employees, but also that they do basic things like follow the law, and so that we have some protection to ensure that when we are awarding a contract, that we're not only getting the lowest, that we're not only getting the cheapest work, but the best quality work that we can for the lowest price. One of the other reasons that this is important, I believe, is because it levels the playing field for contractors that want to bid on public projects. If we have no definition whatsoever for responsible, it means that anybody can bid, regardless of the quality of the work or their level of experience or how they're going to carry it out. If it is the low bid, we would be obligated to accept it. This creates some very minimum standards to ensure that the high-quality, responsible contractors that are in this community have a chance to fairly bid on projects, because as many of you know, it does cost money to go through the bidding process, especially on large public projects. So if it were always going to be awarded to just the lowest bidder rather than the lowest responsible, some of our more reliable contractors simply wouldn't bid on projects. So I believe this is a pretty common sense ordinance and would work very well for the city of Superior, in that it would continue the positive relationship that we've had with a lot of our public contractors for a very long time. It simply updates it to make sure that we're compliant with state law and maintains the culture of positive relationships that we've always had. I know there are several people here from the public that may be interested in speaking, so if possible, I hope the chair will be willing to listen to them as well. And for the record, I'm not allowed to vote on this, so I would appreciate a motion and a second to consider.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to consider the proposal that's been brought forth by the mayor. Discussion from the floor.
Who from the audience would like to speak?
There's no one signed up at this point.
Gentlemen,
Start your engines.
come on up to the microphone if you would.
And as you work your way up to the microphone, I'd remind the speakers that we'll cut you off at the 3-minute mark. I'll raise my hand so as to not interrupt you.
My name is Jeremy Browen, business rep for the Carpenters Union. A lot of things we've seen throughout the industry that is starting to come up to this area, northern Wisconsin, Minnesota. There's a lot of labor brokers. A lot of those labor brokers are actually bringing up undocumented workers to this area to do work. A lot of people probably do not see what is going on when they're driving by a construction site, but these things are actually happening all the time, and we are seeing them. And basically there's we have like 700 members in this area that work locally in this community. Duluth, Cloquet, Two Harbors, they're all strengthening their project labor agreements. We don't have that here. Where do you think these people are going to go to work at? These contractors are going to be coming to Superior, Ashland, Douglas County area, so I hope you support this.
Thank you.
I'm Adam Johnson. I'm a construction manager with Webster's Northland Construction. And I just want to speak briefly on what goes into providing safe, responsible production out on the field. One of the things we run into is it takes time and it takes money to train all of our men to operate safely, but also to perform work in a safe manner so that others around them aren't injured. And what we run into when bidding some of these projects is some of the people that we're bidding against don't have any of these policies in place, and it makes it very difficult for us to gain that work. An example recently was the Oakland Township Fire Hall, our town hall. We put numbers in on that, and we were significantly higher than the lowest bidder. But even a simple visit to their Facebook page shows guys standing on ladders on top of scaffold, 3-4 stories in the air, people not being tied off. It's clear there's a safety, protocol that's just completely missing. And I'm all about being competitive. That is the nature of business. I'm very pro-business. But I also feel that it's important that the guys that come to work for us in the morning go home at the end of the day to their families. And I think it's important to provide a safe, competitive work environment, and it takes time, it takes money, resources to be able to provide this. And so that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Hi, my name is Kirk Ilenda. I'm a resident here in Superior, 3913 North 21st Street. I am here representing my company. We're an employee stock-owned company. It's the Bolt Company, also known as Oster J. Bolt Construction. We are headquartered in Appleton, Wisconsin. We are Wisconsin's largest general contractor. We've been in business for 127 years, and it's because we are a very responsible contractor. I do commend Mayor Payne for bringing this up. I think you hit on a point that we are one of those quality contractors that doesn't typically pursue public works projects because most often it does go to the lowest bidder. It's always a race to the cheapest price. And when you're a large professional contractor like us, we have great safety programs. Much like was brought up earlier, we pay a lot into that to have our workers go through our safety training. So we always have safe projects. I think there's better value for the taxpayers in the end that go with a qualified contractor. I think one of the parts in this is that you demonstrate you have experience over the past 5 years in doing similar types of projects. We see in a lot of competition, a lot of unqualified people that have never done certain types of public projects. So we'd like to have this ordinance passed for that. So it's a fair, level playing field for all of us qualified contractors. The other things we bring in is the financial stability of being around for 127 years. We see a lot of unqualified contractors that take a lot of financial risks to get to that low price. We've seen a lot of people go out of business and leave jobs hanging and owners hanging. We don't think that is very responsible of those contractors. So I do support this ordinance, and I hope the council considers that. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Casey Aronson. I am the Vice President for the Northern Wisconsin Building Trades Council, and I'm also a business representative with the Operating Engineers Local 139. I think the Mayor, Jim Payne, explained this ordinance very, very clear, and what it does is it protects the city, it protects the taxpayers from out-of-state contractors coming in and doing shoddy work and leaving a mess for the city and the taxpayers to clean up. What the Wisconsin law mandates public contracts to be let to the lowest responsible bidder. But what constitutes a responsible bidder is not well defined in the statutes. Municipalities have the discretion to determine who is a responsible bidder. Statutes allow municipalities to require a sworn statement as to the bidder's responsibility prior to submitting a bid. Ordinance will ensure that uniform criteria is used to determine who is a responsible bidder. Gives the municipality greater protection from suit by the non-responsible low bidder who is not awarded a contract because criteria is known and applied to all bidders. Criteria creates a level playing field for all bidders. Apprenticeship requirement is for the protection and welfare of the public because aging trades population means action is needed to train next generation. Public should invest in companies that invest in our workforce through our training programs. Properly trained employees building our public facilities protect public safety and help ensure quality end product. While low cost is the first priority, value is also essential. You get what you pay for. Most of the criteria in the model ordinance merely requires a bidder to confirm that they are and have been recently in compliance with employment and labor laws, OSHA safety standards, unemployment and workers' compensation requirements, etc. If a contractor doesn't comply with the law, they should not be awarded a public contract. If a contractor cheats the system by failing to pay workers' compensation or unemployment insurance, they should not be rewarded with taxpayer dollars of a public contract. The prevailing wage law protected municipalities against bidders using cutthroat and even illegal wage policies to win public contracts. Starting on January 1st, 2017, no municipal prevailing wage law was required, and a race to the bottom for wages is inevitable. Responsible bidder criteria helps fill this gap somewhat, although risk cannot be avoided entirely. I just ask that you support this. I think it's right for the city. I think it's right for the taxpayers. Thank you.
My name is Joseph Stensland. I'm a citizen, District 10, 706 Cumming Avenue, Superior, Wisconsin. I just want to say I'm going to clearly give away my position here. I'm the son of a union man. My father was in a union, and he was a CNA for several years, and safety is a big prime concern for him while he's on the job, and he just retired. Safety in general is a huge concern. And I want to say what a unique opportunity we have to stand up for labor in our city here, because we are facing an eroding of workers' rights, an eroding of wages that on the state level that continue to bring our state further down a road of a lack of progress, in my particular opinion. And that means that we as citizens have the responsibility, and you as elected officials have that responsibility to make sure that those safety protocols are put in place. And I just want to say, as I have just discovered this, I support this as a citizen, and I think that it's a very good idea to propose this right here, and I just want to say, please consider supporting it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Any discussion from councilors? Any questions? Okay, if there are none, Councilor Bender.
I would just say that it's very well written, and I would thank the mayor for his involvement in this. And I know I have heard from many of the trades about things that have been going on, not necessarily with public projects, but with some projects that are receiving TIF money.
Okay, Councilor Fennessy.
I think this is a good thing, and I want to thank Mayor Payne for bringing it before the council. I guess I just have a couple questions, couple different clarifications. Do we not have a responsible bidder ordinance or criteria right now, or are we just?
You want to go? Do you want to take that, or?
We have an ordinance that covers the rules for what we do when we award public contracts. And some of this is actually a repeat of what's already in that. That's why we repealed the old one. And those elements that are still working are still in this ordinance. But much of what's in the ordinance that already exists is now illegal. It's been banned by state law. Things like entering into project labor agreements or forms of prevailing wage are no longer permitted. And so we had to strike a number of things from that existing ordinance, so much so that to me it felt it was necessary to just replace the whole thing. But the things that are not banned from that ordinance are still in this new one, in this amended one.
And then how does, I know you said that what this does is basically brings us compliant with the state law. How does this compare to others across the state of Wisconsin?
So there are a few other municipalities that have passed ordinances substantially similar. I can't name them offhand, except of course Douglas County. We passed one in March. Yep. It was a little bit different here because we didn't already have an ordinance covering public contracts. So we were creating it entirely as opposed to the City of Superior, which did have some language already.
So how does this compare to Douglas counties? I mean, more like does this have anything in it that Douglas County doesn't? I guess I would have liked to see what the old one was versus what even Douglas County's is.
This is not substantially different than Douglas County's. The only thing is there was some language, and I'm trying to remember what specifically, Counselor, that was. A lot of it has to do with form, not so much function. So the city's ordinance very clearly defined a number of things that we keep in this ordinance. But if you've got your iPad there, it's very easy to pull up Douglas County's ordinance.
Okay.
I mean, I know that drags out the meeting, but that is on the website if you wanted to compare them side by side.
Okay.
Councilor Fennessy, if I could maybe set your mind at ease, as far as what the rules were in the past, dating back in the City of Superior, 1987, there was a mini Davis-Bacon Act brought forward, signed by Herb Bergson, and the city clerk at that time was Florence Steffen. And at that time, there was a lot more leeway and a lot more latitude to follow state statutes with the federal Davis-Bacon, the Wisconsin state prevailing wage laws, and back then in 1987, project labor agreements weren't really thought of. The building trades over the years have evolved with the industry change that Jeremy Broen brought up in the changes to the industry moving forward, safety standards, everything. And then all of a sudden, 2017, we run into a legislature that forbids public projects that you can't use a PLA anymore. The prevailing wage at the state level has gone away. And Mayor, if you chime in, this is an alternative to those plans that allow us to have the substance of agreements that protect the city in the form of, if you look in the ordinance and the recommendation, all the things that a company wouldn't be able to come in if there's major OSHA violations, that they wouldn't be able to bid on them. That's the responsible part of it. That's the City of Superior being responsible for the taxpayer dollars being used on public works projects. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. So if that helps at all.
A little bit. I mean, anytime we can attract contractors that give us more for our value, I'm all for it. And I know this is the general feel of this is to attract the safer, on time, more qualified employees, and I'm absolutely all for that. Not to mention all the local boots that the unions put on the ground. So, but for me, I guess I'd like us just to pump the brakes a little bit on this. We just got this on Friday. I'd like a little bit of time to look through what other cities are doing, look through how this compares to Douglas County, how this compares to what this was. I mean, we've only had this for 4 days, and so I guess I'd like us just to. There's no immediate need for us to jump into this, and more than likely, I'm going to support it at the end. Just I would just like to see us pump the brakes a little bit on this instead of pushing this through. I would appreciate a little more time to just dive into this a little bit.
Mayor Payne.
I just want to point out that's fair, and I would point out that we are not empowered to take action here tonight other than to make a recommendation to the City Council, which is not until June 6th. So there is time for councilors to vet this, to learn more, to look at other communities that have passed things that are similar. And again, I think that it's a relatively short ordinance. The only reason that I feel that time is a factor is we do engage in public projects on a regular basis, and we have an ordinance that is right now out of line with existing state statute. And I would also point out these are important issues. We're talking about things like worker safety and the legal liability of contractors and the city. So I believe that it's important to pass this in a timely fashion. I think especially having brought this to a community in northwest Wisconsin, Douglas County, we've been fairly upfront about this as a potential ordinance. And so I think we've had time to read it and consider it, and there's time yet. In the coming weeks before it faces final passage at the City Council. This is the opportunity that I believe that you're requesting, Councilor. The chance for you to ask questions, to take those questions, and to go and learn more in the intervening weeks. This is simply, we are asking for a recommendation to consider final approval.
Councilor Bender.
I would agree with the mayor, and I would ask that we vote on this now.
There is a motion and a second. Are you calling the question?
Yes.
Any opposition to calling the question? The motion and a second is on the floor for the recommendation of moving forward with the responsible bidder ordinance. Your pleasure. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign?
No.
Motion carries. Do we have any other further business before your committee of the whole stuff? Okay. We stand adjourned. Thank you.